way, at halftime, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, at halftime I thought I really not barely seen maybe any sort of blown defensive assignments. And then maybe there was some transition misses in the second half, still getting the waiting for the 40 on defense, but
yeah, no, I was really pleased with our first half defense. I think with the 24, 10 points came off second chance opportunities, right, with the 8 offensive rebounds. I thought our first shot defense was the best we've had all season. And I thought we locked into being in gaps, trusting our teammates, something we talk about all the time. So I thought that was the best we had shown first shot defense all season.
And you talked a lot about wanting to push the pace of your position, but I thought some of the half-court offense was some of the best it's looked all season. So what do you see from your offense tonight?
Yeah, look, you got a guy like Jordan Mason who's had 20 assists, I think it is, in 2 games, right? He can really put a lot of pressure on the defense. And credit to them, they started to try to go under the ball screen. He went a different way to attack it. It's about our spacing and touches, right? And I think our guys know you're not coming out for missed shots in our program. You're coming out for effort, energy, or if you're tired and you need a blow. So I think they play with that confidence of, hey, let's keep shooting, let's get downhill. I think we're doing a much better job of getting paint touches, kick out. Paint touches, kick out. When we get away from one-on-one play, we're pretty good. When we get back to some one-on-one, we had a little bit in the second half, like probably 3 possessions of it. It was like, and they know it now. They were like, hey, our fault. They came to a timeout.
How do you get your team out of that, like, one-on-one play?
Yeah, I think it starts with practice, right? Last game, the only thing we showed film-wise was the assists and, like, the assist and our bench energy, right? So I think when you show, like, hey, look how happy you are for everybody, right? And, when you watch Connor Gal hit a 3 and stuff, the bench goes crazy, like, and that's our energy. And we knew today, right, with the weather, we had to bring our own energy. And I thought that our team did that. The bench was great, and I think it's showing your team, look how good you are when nobody cares who scores. But when we get assists, look how good we can be, too.
Coach, you kind of talked about on Tuesday how you need to switch with Jemai, just because, like, take a look at Baba. Came in today, he looked very comfortable, just like coming off the bench. Kind of felt like it was like how he looked at the beginning of the season when he was able to facilitate. He keeps people able to play off of him. What do you kind of see from him today? He got two quick assists when he came out.
Yeah, look, it's credit to those guys. They kind of shared the 5, and I think we stayed fresh. Like, they know, hey, if you play 2-3 minutes as hard as you can, then we'll get another guy in there. And I thought our standard of defense stayed the same when we subbed. I thought Mo gave us some good minutes in there tonight, too. So when you can get 4 guys in at the 5 in the first half and rotate, I thought we were really good. And we had different packages, right? When Jemai's in versus maybe Yubi's in and blah, blah. So I got to do a better job with those guys of, hey, here, when they're in the game, this is what we're looking for. Because they all can do different things. And together, they were really good tonight.
And kind of that with AJ Smith out, that puts a lot more on Cam Wallace coming in. He was 1 for 5, he hit 4 assists. He looks kind of like last year where he kind of came in, a lot of hustle, a lot of spark. What do you kind of see from him in his development in 11 years?
Yeah, he's super talented, right? When you come from West Town and you play for Seth, like, you're going to have a high IQ guy who knows how to play the game, right? He's so well coached. And it just takes some time, sometimes as a freshman. And I thought today he shot 1 for 5. And I actually just told him before I walked in here, I thought he had 5 great shots, right? Like, I know he missed 1 3. I joked with him pretty bad, but, like, it was a great look. He's got to shoot that again, right, on Thursday night whenever we play. Like, those are the shots you want. And I think the game slows down the more you play. So the more minutes we get him, I think he's getting more comfortable. There was another tag situation that he knew right away. Hey, I tagged too long. I gave up a 3 in front of their bench. So I think he's learning because he's corrected himself. But he's super talented. He's a guy we need, and we need him to keep getting better like he is. Yeah, I know he got to see Doc today. We're going to see how he goes and try to progress with some stuff this week and see how he feels. He hasn't done much. We're trying to get him to, get rid of the pain and then see how he feels. So we're going to try to amp it up a little bit with some steps this week and see how he feels.
Is the big man rotation now, historically it's been like you talk about matchups. It seems like now it's more about just cycling.
Yeah, I think it's staying fresh, and it's a credit to our bigs. I think, Mo does a good job staying in a stance even on the perimeter, right? We don't want to switch, but Jemai got caught up on a switch. He did a good job. So it's a great point you bring up, Sean. Like, in the past, it has been a little bit more matchup driven. This is how do we stay fresh? How do we stay fresh? And we think that'll help with the rebounding and pick and roll defense. So I think rotating guys And they know, like, hey, all right, I gave you, like, if you ever look, Jemai puts up a fist. He played hard for 2 minutes and 40 seconds to start the game. He was tired, right? He's given so much energy, and then he'll tell me, hey, I'm good. I think they know we'll get you back in.
What have you seen from Gavin? Why do you think he's having the success that maybe people thought coming out of high school he would have?
Yeah, look, we recruited Gavin when I was at another school and got to watch him. I thought he was really good. He goes to Rutgers, played like 16 minutes a game, which is really hard in the Big Ten to play that many minutes as a freshman. I think for him, it's confidence. It's, hey, man, like you miss, there was like an inner squad. I think he was like 1 for 12, and he was like shocked we didn't talk about his shooting. Like, shots are going to fall. He's that talented. But right now you're seeing his deflections. We chart that every game. It's his defense. If he can defend a rebound, I think he was leading us in rebounding, leading us in block shots. Like that gets him on the court more than the shot making is going to come. But he's been in 2 great programs, coached by 2 phenomenal coaches, right? Coach Hoiberg and Coach Peichel. Like, when you're getting a crash course in basketball from those 2 for 2 years, like, it's pretty good.
And just big picture, you have Davidson, then Princeton, and I think jump into conference. What do you like? What do you still need to work on? Obviously, with Aiden, Gavin, and Darian, it seems like you have 3 guys who are going to keep you in most games. But you have your finger on the pulse. Obviously, where do you think you're going?
It sounds so coach talk, right? But to me, it's our focus was solely on this game. Like, haven't watched Davidson. You've seen their scores. I know they're 8-2. Like, that's where our focus is. For the league, I root for everybody in the league in the non-conference. You want our conference to win as many games as you can, and so there's sometimes you'll see it on TV and I'll watch a game. But our focus is on getting better, and it's a huge thing for us is protect home court. But now we've got a good opportunity to go, hey, we got to try this on the road and get a true road win. So. Look, as you get closer to the new year and you start league play, we'll see more people and get more familiar with the league. But right now, it's finished. This is our only thought is Davidson.
These 2 sort of great opportunities to see that your defense these next 2 games can execute against very systems that do what they do.
Yeah, right. And they're both similar to who we end up playing first in the league, right? They're Charlotte. So they play that system again where you're going to see some of the Princeton stuff. And look, since we got back from Florida, I thought we've guarded really well. I do. I think there's been a few little lapses. Villanova game, there was like a 2-minute stretch where there's 2 transition threes, and you're like, it's a 6-7 point game. Next thing you know, it's 13. And then you miss a shot, they come down, hit a shot, it's 15, right? And a quick thing like that. But I think we got to keep, we know this. It's defend and rebound. I think we're really good in transition. You get stops, and we can get out and go.
So I had the collision in the second half. Is he all good?
Yeah, I think he rolled an ankle. I haven't talked to him. I know he'll get treatment right after this. We'll see how he feels tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Thank you. Happy holidays, too. Happy holidays.